Welcome to Bonehead Guitars. Let's go build some junk. Alright, I did my final sanding and all that nonsense. I can't think of a damn thing we need to do other than drill the bridge ground, which you can do that anytime. Everything else is ready to roll. So I final sanded, including my round over, and I painted my cavities with conductive paint. I just got done covering the neck up. Between brown paper and masking tape, I haven't talked too much about my finishing process because it's pretty embarrassing to talk about finishing when you don't have a spray booth. But, and honestly, since I just did some sanding, I mean, it wasn't a lot, but I've done some sanding on this, and Purple Heart tends to lose a little bit of its purple when you do that. You gotta give it some time to oxidize and purple back up. So, what I'm planning on at this point is to do some grain filling with aqua coat, sand it back, then we'll let it sit long enough to get all nice and purpley and whatnot, and then go on to finishing. But I thought before we do that, we might as well, tape up the neck. So what I've been doing, I will tape the entire neck up to the volute and the slope of the ears, and of course the nut slot, because we don't want lacquer in those places. Okay, now the reason I do this is because I like to lacquer everything except the neck and do an oil finish on the neck so it feels all nice and smooth. I kind of like the Ernie Ball approach to, an oil finish followed by some wax. But when you're mixing lacquer and oil, you're going to have a hard line. I try to put my hard lines strategically placed so that they are the least noticeable. Okay, and on soft corners like on the volute, I like to let the lacquer overlap the soft corner. Okay, so once we peel this off and it's time to oil, we will sand the hard edge off of it. You will still have lacquer on most of the edge, but it will thin off and taper down to bare wood. So when we go back with oil, the oil will hit all the, natural raw wood, and everywhere that there is even a little bit of lacquer on that taper off, it, won't soak in. So it tends to be, when I do it this way, a pretty nice seamless line where I don't, you look at it, you can probably see it, but you can't really feel it all that much. So it's fairly non-obtrusive. But like I said, I figured it was probably about time to tape up so we can aqua coat and get ready to start finishing. That'll be exciting. I shot a few more coats of lacquer after the move, and I've been wet sanding to polish up, and I'm planning that tomorrow you can actually start polishing. So I have just worked almost everything down to 2000 grit. Now that I put 2000 grit on it, it's looking pretty sexy. This is fine cut car polish. nice, clean, damp rag. That's pretty damn shiny. And that was quick and painless. On to the ultra fine cut. Alright. Honestly, it's been so long since I worked on this damn thing. I didn't even remember what the fretboard looked like. It's like Christmas. But, okay. I just finished peeling the tape off. If you're going to use car polish, whatever you do, mask off and have taped up and everything, you're going to have to, you really got to get the masking and stuff off immediately and clean up to make sure you get all of the stinking car polish off, because it's fairly liquidy stuff and it will get everywhere. And when it dries, it's a real hard, chalky junk, so got to clean it up. Okay, now, because we do the finish in two phases, lacquer on the majority of it and oil on the neck, we're going to have hard edges. You're going from one finish to another, it's just going to be that way. So I try to tape up so that we lacquer over the hard edges. Try to do that so I can take some high grit paper, in this case 600, and soften up the transition without coming over the hard edge. Which in some places is easier said than done, but so once we get that cleaned up, I'll probably do another quick easy sanding of probably about 600 on the neck. Hell, I may even go up to a higher grit just to make it silky smooth, and then we will do a few coats of tru-oil. And then I think the finish will be done.